is time to look at a Terran versus Protoss on the map Hardwire. Joining me in the upper right corner with the red SCVs, GuMiho. And the Protoss opponent in the bottom left with a probe already out on the map. It is Zoun. GuMiho, the master of mech, versus Zoun, who I'm still not 100% sure the name is actually pronounced Zoun. It's been years. I'm still not 100% on that one. What I am sure of is that probe is a jerk. Already across the map and causing problems. You see this? Harassing employees, trying to take minerals. These are just unsafe conditions if I've ever seen them. GuMiho opening up with a very normal racks, gas, trying desperately to keep his SCVs focused, while on the other side of the map, the Protoss opponent gets to do whatever they want. Pylon, gate, in his own base. So, nothing crazy, nothing aggressive, just yet. Took some money though. Thief. Those 5 minerals. It could come down to those 5 minerals. If we were to mine out the map, and I'm still here in an hour and a half, it could come down to 5 minerals. Zoun just blocking that command center, not blocking it enough though. Probably going to want to get out of here before the Reaper shows up. GuMiho just doing Reaper expand. Zoun's throwing his core down before the Nexus actually, despite being somewhat safe. Maybe it's just to get the Adept or the Stalker out that much quicker. There's really no reason not to, Protoss players. You can throw that core down before the Nexus, still on the same 20 supply, and it nets you that defensive unit just a little bit quicker. So Reaper comes in, gonna get that full scout off, sees the Nexus, sees the Adept, sees the cleaning bot, which might actually be the scariest part. Adept, not doing much. A little slow on the defense there, but that's fine. What's the Reaper gonna do to a pylon? They lost their grenades years ago, back when they had their grenades. When were you guys gonna tell me he's making more Reapers? That's what I pay you for, come on. So, GuMiho's opening up with some slightly interesting strategies here. Multiple Reapers off of 1 racks. SCV took some more damage somewhere. Swapping everything around now, gonna go for some Hellions, but Zoun just going with a very safe blink opener, so how much damage is really going to be done? Adept is watching that Reaper entrance, Stalker already jumping on the Reaper over here. Microing the probe back, I like it. I like it a lot. Coming over here for a 3rd Nexus? Perhaps. Multiple Reapers in the base now, single probe going to be killed off, and then they start freaking out. Another probe picked off, just a little bit of an annoyance. Not critical damage by any means. Stalker's actually having a little tough of time dealing with this. The probe's gonna get involved, whipping out their knives, their daggers, their little laser beams. And GuMiho's not stopping with this aggression whatsoever. We're gonna go from multiple Reapers into Hellions into Banshees. Reaper waits for the Adept Shade to go out. There's 4 Stalkers here, though. Zoun might be waiting for the Widow Mine drop. That was a bit brutal, actually. Hellions choose the most inopportune time whatsoever. GuMiho, what are you doing here? The Reaper was just slaughtered by 4 Stalkers right here, and you choose that exact second to go into the base? Come on. Adept gets in, breaks off 1 SCV from the pack, but going to be killed off as well. Stalkers feeling confident, feeling safe in their decision to go aggressive here. Unfortunately, Banshee also going across the map. There's only one bunker with 2 Marines in it, so definitely not enough to get any defense here. I think that was the injured SCV. He died very quickly. Refinery going to be destroyed here. Banshee now. Presence is known. Zoun's gonna see it. Oh, wait, it's cloaked. You can't see it, Zoun. Is there an observer? There are 2. And one's right here. Zoun's already on it. Something in the middle of the map. Second Banshee going to be spotted by the Stalkers. That's very unfortunate. So these Banshees, whoa, getting really close there. Oh, man. Both Banshees now at red health or 0 health. They are, let's go with low or gone. This aggression is not paying off whatsoever for Mr. GuMiho, who has hit a slight supply block at 69. No comment. +1 on the way for his bio units, so between that and the many racks that we're seeing in the base, I'm going to have to go with the very educated guess. This is not a mech game. This is going to be a typical bio versus Protoss. Very typical. However, all of the aggression so far has been slightly atypical. What is in these vats? That's obviously a Baneling. Is that a Zealot? That's floating very strangely, might I add. It's a little creepy, actually. Observer placed in a very nice spot. Sees the tank, sees the factory, flying for extra racks to be produced. What's going on Zoun's side of the map? Haven't checked on him. Colossus is the tech choice. Thermal Lance being researched and just getting all of the various upgrades. Charge coming out too. Forge. Banshee's just going to patrol the map. Both players are taking their macro turns. You thought this was a real-time thing? Shame on you. StarCraft, a real-time strategy game? Isn't everything turn-based now? Don't the kids like turn-based things? That way I only have to actually think for, 1 turn at a time. Large Bioforce tanks setting up prematurely, actually, to get that initial shot off on the Stalkers, and the Banshees attempt to flank an observer, which is usually not a good idea if I had to throw my 2 cents in there. Stim and Combat Shield's going to finish up, but there's already 2 Colossi out. Are there Ravens? There are no Ravens here, so no chance of interference. Matrix tanks not sieged up just yet, but Zoun is not going to press the issue. Usually at this stage, the Protoss is out on the map to force this exact situation. You want those tanks to siege up to try and buy yourself some more time to get, more Stalkers, another warp-in of Zealots, or an extra Colossus. Looks like he's going with the Zealot option for now. Warp Prism being produced as well, so he's pretty confident. GuMiho, don't do it. GuMiho, please. Although if he baits Zoun out on the middle of the map, this could actually be a really good decision. Zoun knows about it now. Forces are pulling back, but there's 3 tanks here. Tanks are going to siege. Probes are evacuated. Charge Zealots, looking pretty. Not doing much else at this time. I don't really blame them. 3 siege tanks is a bit much. But then GuMiho unsieges some of them and gets out. Okay. Marauder Hit Squad tries to go into the natural, but is met with 2 Archons. This bio group, very rambunctious, going to be cleaned up. Going to be cleaned up by that group. The scan wars have begun. Not much going on there. The Widow Mine was here too. Like, GuMiho, you had vision. Speaking of vision, this observer is seriously paying for itself. Sensor tower? Yeah, sensor tower. So Zoun deflecting GuMiho's very questionable drop into the main and then picking things back up. Gonna take his 4th base. Warp Prism, not going to be spotted just yet. There's the potential, get some charge slots into the main base. Colossus, hold down the fort back home. GuMiho's gonna ready up another couple of attacks though. He's got a group over here. Group going over to the right side. Observer gonna spot those medevacs though. And Zoun sees the group on the right as well. Very helpful. Zoun's spread of vision is actually quite good. Between the observers and hallucinated Phoenix, occasional charge lot as well. I'm really liking the setup here of the Protoss. Oh, speaking of Protoss setup, warp into the main base. A Terran's worst nightmare. Gonna focus down the engineering bay. Meanwhile, GuMiho's forces are on the hunt. They're looking for a little bit of blood. Or they're just gonna run home. Maybe it was an all-army thing. That's a lot of forces being pulled back to the main base. That may have been an all-army move. Zoun gonna take advantage in the middle of the map. Gets the jump on some Marauders. Still only 2 Colossi though. I admire the confidence. Is Storm here? No Storm. So Disruptor's gonna be the second choice of splash damage. And usually in this matchup, that's what the Protoss focus is on, is multiple layers of splash damage. You get Colossi, you get Storm, you get Archons, you get Disruptors. Widowmine. Widowmine did get 2 kills, and more importantly, I think a lot of vision. That was actually a really good spot. Zoun walking over that Widowmine multiple times. Behind that, he's going into Stargate. Why Stargate? Are you really planning to maybe throw some carriers into the mix? There's already Vikings on the field because of the Colossi. I'm not sure about the choice of adding in some air units. Definitely not anything like Void Rays. GuMiho's got a lot of Marauders though. 23 Marauders. There's almost a 1-to-1 ratio of Marine to Marauder. That's kind of crazy. I think GuMiho is expecting Zoun to be a lot more Stalker heavy than Zoun really is. He's getting plus air weapons and a fleet beacon. I don't know about the experience you guys have gone through, but in my personal experience, Marauders versus... What did you just kill, Zoun? Marauders versus carriers, as I was saying, is generally a very one-sided battle. I would not consider Marauders to be an ideal counter to carriers. They are good at fighting off some Stalkers and, more importantly, getting themselves killed to see this vision. He now knows where Zoun's army is, but he doesn't seem too keen on actually moving out or doing much. The fleet beacon finished up, but Zoun really doesn't have a whole lot of supply to work with here. Adding on more gateways, I'm really keen to see what the choice is from the Stargates. I want to guess it's carriers. Oh, he's killing his own zealots for supply. It is carriers. Carrier is going to be the choice from Zoun. Excellent choice to add in a couple. At the very least, the interceptors will mess with the AI, the targeting AI of the Marines, the Ghosts, potentially the Vikings, but I think GuMiho is probably going to be able to micro against it and focus fire those carriers down. Also adding in DTs and Storm. Might see an engagement here. Disruptor shot goes forward. First one's a whiff, second's a hit on the sensor tower. Not the usual target of choice here. Great spread from GuMiho, going to be able to flank on the right side. Dodging disruptor shots actually very well, and Zoun's disruptors moving forward. They're going to be killed off. Gonna have to back up with only 1 disruptor now in play. That's not enough. The splash damage is just not there. And this many Marauders, I'd be worried. Against a force that's mostly Stalker, Colossi, Marauders do very well. So, as expected, he's just going to back up and wait for these bad boys. Along with tectonic destabilizers and flux veins. Zoun is just rounding out all of the upgrades at this point. And 3 more Stargates. Get out of here, Zoun. Oh man. GuMiho's getting ranged liberators and ghost cloaking. Both players are just getting all the upgrades, even if they don't plan to use them. DT Blink, Air Armor, Tectonic Destabilizers for the Tempest. Why not? You've got the money. Where's high-sec auto-tracking? We don't have high-sec auto-tracking. We haven't reached that late in the game yet. You know, the famous time of the game that you're allowed to get the upgrades that we would normally make fun of you for getting any earlier. High-sec auto-tracking, building armor. You know what I'm talking about. Zoun posturing the army. GuMiho knows about the carriers now. What is that? 5, 6 carriers? That's a formidable force. Disruptors focusing their fire on a missile turret. Okay. You get that missile turret. Hey! High-sec auto-tracking. Very good. Zoun taking down the rocks, opening up another avenue here. Carriers, interceptors are falling, actually. The Viking... Oh, good storm. Good storm on the Vikings. Just pushing everything back. Liberator's gonna siege up. The zones of freedom work very indiscriminately. Single Marauder, very unlucky Marauder, tagged by the Disruptor shot. Oh, the snipes! GuMiho gets a nice pickup here. 3 Templars sniped off to the tune of 1 ghost. I know it's never nice to hear the death of a ghost. It's kind of nice to hear a ghost, but that was a very cost-effective ghost. GuMiho set up in a very defensive posture here with Yamato on the way. Are there even battle cruisers? No. There's not even any battle cruisers. Guys, what league do you get upgrades for units you're not going to use? That's not an efficient use of money. Oh, good disruptor hit onto those Terran forces. GuMiho is setting up in a very defensive posture here. I don't really know what the plan is. What do you do as the Terran? You gotta be able to split off a force to get some damage done on the other side. Draw the Protoss out of position. This is a lot of carriers though. Viking count only at 12 and now taking damage. They are dropping. These carriers are going to be able to get some good work done. On the other side, GuMiho's Bioforce slips by into an absolute Bronze League wall of cannons. Shield batteries got EMP'd, which is not something that usually happens, and now we're in a full-blown base trade. Alright. Vikings getting some damage done on the carriers. Stalker's going to intervene. Meanwhile, GuMiho's forces targeting down the forge, researching shields. Does GuMiho even have anything here? Couple siege tanks, it looks like, plus some reinforcements. And now he's pulling his bio back. Not sure I like that decision, because now, holy Dark Templar blink onto the bio forces. That's going to be completely cleaned up. And now you have a massive Protoss army in your main base. What do you hope to do here? Can we get a nuke? Can we get a massive nuke? Disruptors are going to hold the ramp now. Oh, that is brutal. GuMiho cannot even make it up his own ramp thanks to the carrier disruptor combo. Zoun gonna take the game. Thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to let me know if you enjoyed. As always, get out there and have a great day.